Artificial intelligence is now part of electoral politics. Last week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign released a web video featuring apparently fake AI-generated images of Donald Trump hugging Dr. Anthony Fauci. Inviting further confusion, the fake images were placed next to 3 real pictures of Trump and Fauci. This might be the most widely reported use of AI in political ads so far, but stay tuned. It's not the first time it's happened either. The Republican National Committee launched an ad against President Biden using dystopian AI-generated imagery. Trump's team put up a video mocking DeSantis' campaign launch using voices that sounded just like DeSantis and Elon Musk. And fake photos of an explosion at the Pentagon and Trump being arrested have gone viral in recent months. Joining us now to talk about AI and political ads and where this could all go, Hany Farid, professor of digital forensics, misinformation, and human perception at the University of California, Berkeley. And we've seen this movie before, I think, Professor. How does AI change it in terms of disinformation? It just makes it easier, more realistic, because it's this. I've seen things for years that
Sure.
are basically what we're talking about here.
Sure, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. It's not new that politicians are going to lie to you or the voters. It's not new that we are going to distort reality. But what is new is the democratized access to technology that allows anyone, not just a Hollywood studio, not just a state-sponsored actor, to create images, audio, and video that are incredibly realistic. And it's that democratization of access, but it's also the existence of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, the ability to distribute that instantaneously to millions and millions of people around the world in a very targeted way. And that's a very new threat vector for the misinformation landscape.
What is the answer, Professor? or do we just... I'm ready to give up.
Yeah, there are days it feels like that, doesn't it? Where we can't reason about the world anymore because there's just so much garbage out there. I think there's a little good news here. There is an effort spearheaded by Adobe called the Content Authenticity Initiative to watermark and fingerprint every single piece of authentic content. So when you record a president saying something, it will be authenticated by your device and then can be verified downstream. And Adobe is also working, because they have released their own generative AI system as well, to also watermark and fingerprint every piece of synthetic content, so that when the Pentagon image, the Trump being arrested image, the DeSantis images are released into the wild, we at least have a chance to understand what is real and what is fake.
There would be some accountability, I think. If it was against the law and you knew who generated it, that would certainly make people think twice.
Yeah,
even if it was a fine, Professor. I mean, right now it's just the wild, wild west.
That's right. What I like about this technology, it sort of kicks the can down the road a little bit. It doesn't say what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. It doesn't impinge on anybody's rights. It doesn't say you can or can't lie, but it just says, look, if you're going to be in the business of creating this content, we are going to start monitoring it, just so that when we do decide we are going to say, campaigns, sorry, you're not allowed to use generative AI anymore, we have a mechanism to get in the middle of that and the voters. And so I think that our members of Congress are going to have to start thinking very carefully in this new age of AI how they want campaigns and politicians to either weaponize or take advantage of this technology. And in the interim, while we're trying to figure this new technology out, we at least have to start labeling everything so that we have a chance of dealing with it downstream when we do make some decisions.
What about where you see it? Do we need to assign more responsibility to people, whether it's Twitter or any social media site that says, hey, we do the best that we can, but it's user-generated, and we're not liable. Do we need to change that at some point?
I think we do. I think the time of, hey, we're just the middle person, we're not responsible for this, is over. The fact is that the reason why that Pentagon image went viral and the reason why the stock market responded to the tune of $500 billion is because Twitter is handing out like candy $8 a month verified accounts. And it was a verified account that looked like Bloomberg that was then algorithmically favored which was then allowed to be retweeted by known organizations that distort reality. And so Twitter has to take some responsibility for this. The Facebooks of the world have to take responsibility for this. And I think we have to start saying, if you are not just the people hosting this, but the ones algorithmically amplifying the lies and the conspiracies, we should hold you to account for that.
Sir, I don't know, you saw Google or Alphabet, parent company of Google, parent company of YouTube, effectively change their policy around election misinformation from our last election.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? What type of regulation and who would change that? And were you surprised they made that decision? Because I actually thought to myself that I would have thought advertisers would be relatively unhappy about that, but maybe not.
I would say I found it disheartening, but not surprising. I mean, the fact is, social media company has been allowing lies and conspiracies to run through their networks for decades now. I thought it was particularly disheartening and disturbing as we are in the lead up to another election, as if somehow denying the last election, well, it's all over. There's no really any problems anymore. I can't foresee any possible problems. And what was particularly frustrating is that it showed that given the desire to do something, they absolutely can. Now they're just choosing to allow the lies and the conspiracy that threaten our democracy to spread through their networks. And I think back to the last question, somebody's going to have to figure out how to hold these networks accountable. The reality is lying is not illegal, but I think algorithmically favoring lies and conspiracies, you should be held to account for the results of those lies and conspiracies.